This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the November edition of the RMC support group. I am so thrilled that we have made it this far into the year. It in some ways feels like it's gone by very quickly, in other ways it's dragged on. But I'm so glad that we're all here tonight and we're gathering together. So if you have been with us before, you kind of know how this goes. I'm going to call on each of you and ask if there's anything on your mind tonight you'd like to talk about, and then we'll go back to you if there is. But if there's not, that's fine, and you can always change your mind. So, Amaka and Mama Dorothy, hi guys, how are you tonight?
We're good. Hi, we're good.
Is
How
there
are you?
anything on your mind or anything you'd like to ask tonight?
There's always stuff in my mind. Right. The forefront, all I can think about is insurance, but I'm sure other things will pop up.
Sure, then we'll come back to you on that. No
Okay, sounds good.
problem.
Thank you.
Lori, hi Lori. We're so happy to have you here tonight. Is there anything on your mind?
Thank you, guys. Well, Richie asked me to come and speak briefly about a couple of things. For those of you that don't know me, I lost my friend Kwanzaa in July. My background is advocacy. I've done advocacy in things like food safety and education and a number of other areas. And so I'm sort of trying to push a ball forward in three areas. One is Cora Connor's foundation or nonprofit has sort of tried to be a center place for a registry. And then there's a group of hospitals called the Renal Medullary, RMC Alliance, that are trying to build out a separate registry. And Richie put me in touch with Sally McAdoo at the Kidney Cancer Association. So in terms of a registry, they are building we're working very hard with 7 hospital centers to try to create a very research-driven registry, which is a great idea. But one of the things I said to her is that many people on this journey are moving very quickly on it, and they're not necessarily thinking to themselves, oh, how can I be part of research, or how can I be part of clinical trials, or what have you. And my concern, as I expressed to her this morning, was that as they focus their marketing messages around what they're developing, they need to, be thinking, much earlier in the process, that because people are moving so quickly through their cancer journey, that's not, approaching people about research is not necessarily where they are. They're still possibly at, I'm going to have surgery. That's what's going to happen next, and I'm not thinking about those sorts of things. So she and I will talk again about it. We are feeling like there's a need for sort of a center website, one place, one website to serve them all. And on the one hand, Dr. Masoul is trying to build something like that for renal medullary carcinoma for the RMC Alliance. But I'm also concerned, again, not in a bad way. All these things are good. More is better. There's no question about it. But, is that going to be the place where we can all, create an intersection where we can really capture people? Because as I said to Sally this morning, we don't know, they really don't know how many people have RMC. It could be much bigger than they realize, and they just don't have the data on it, and we have to drive that data in. So there's the registry concept of a project. Then there's a sickle cell trait education component. I think almost everybody here is aware that sickle cell trait is very poorly, the education around sickle cell trait is very poor, and it's not designed around patient advocacy. It's designed around sort of, I'd like to say, anesthetizing people to what possible consequences are and what they need to do from an advocacy standpoint. There's a lot of the materials are designed to say things like, tell your doctor you have sickle cell trait. Well, doctors don't know what to do with it. So why would you tell the doctor? You need to know what you need to know to tell the doctor what they need to do. So Sally and I were like of one hive mind on this subject this morning. And I've been speaking with Boston University about developing some type of an education campaign. But I think at some point, Sally and I agree, we may need to get quite a number of organizations together, include the Hematology Association of America, and also the CDC's birth defects group, group or something. There's a set of people that need to be brought in the same room, and it has to be explained to people what needs to be delivered, and then we have to go about delivering it. And then the last component, which Sally is working on and is really critical, is medical profession education. And she was talking about possibly building up some materials for that. So those are sort of the three areas that I'm involved in. I welcome any questions or anybody's stories that, they feel like, well, let me tell you, this has to happen. I'm very open to any of those sorts of things. If, I'll put, no, we don't really have chat. Oh yes.
Yeah, Lori, put your email in the chat, and everyone can reach out to you and keep us updated about that. So thank you for that update. Hi, Anna, welcome. Is there anything on your mind tonight?
No, nothing specifically, though I do just sort of probably want to comment on Lori's comment.
Okay, I want to check in with everybody just real quick, and we'll get back to that, okay? I promise.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Hi, Karen. Haven't seen you in a long time. We're so glad you're here tonight.
Hello, how are you doing?
Is there anything on your mind tonight? Anything you'd like to talk about?
No, nothing in my mind. I'm good.
Well, we're just glad to have you. It's good to see you.
Nice to see you guys too.
Hi, Brian and Nessa. Good to see you guys again too. Anything on your mind? Anything you want to talk about?
Just a progress report, I guess. Recently had to get a biopsy on my liver. They found some lesions on it. Results came back negative, so that's a win. Happy for that. So I'll be resuming treatment, the same treatment I've been on currently. So I think Dr. Masal says he probably wants to do at least 3 or 4 more sessions with me before he puts me on a break. And then I guess from there, I think we said you're supposed to get more scans.
Yeah, so I think since the last time that we were all on the call with you guys, Brian hadn't had his first set of scans yet. So yeah, we haven't been on since then. So I think we were preparing to, but we hadn't had our scans. So we did have the scans, and Brian has the only cancer that's evident in his body is like a mass in his lung, and then like a few other lesions. So that mass in his lung has shrunk with the first rounds of chemo, which we're really excited about. And all of the like nodular opacities that were in his lungs are gone as well. So, we were all really excited, and we talked to Dr. Masal, and we were like, oh, this is great. And he was like, this is great. And they were like, but we see something in your liver, and that could really change our treatment plan. And that's where we kind of were. And then we found out it's not cancer. And then he was like, no, we're really excited again. so it's been a little bit of a roller coaster, but all in all, the big takeaway is that the treatment is working. And the other thing is that Brian's handling chemo really well.
Yeah.
So both.
Okay, well that sounds all good.
Yeah.
That sounds as good as it can be.
Yeah.
Okay, Andre, I know that you're on the road back from Atlanta, from hot Atlanta. As Richie says, she likes to party down there. We don't know what she does, but Richie got to let loose. She's the pillar of this community. So I know you're on the road, so it's okay. Like, I just want to check in with you. Is there anything you want to say? Like, is there anything you want to say tonight?
Don't have anything any questions or anything, but it's so good to see everybody. So if anybody have any questions for me, I'm here. Hopefully I can get home pretty soon. So y'all will be able to hear me pretty good. So that's all.
And then Carissa, do you have anything on your mind tonight?
Not right now. Thank you.
Okay. And I want to get to Rick real quick because we have another support group he needs to go to. He has an important update for us, and I know this because I have very close ties with Rick. He has an important update on us in a project that we have been working on with Richie.
Yeah, so we are trying hard to raise funds to pay for medical costs for people of color that want to attend clinical trials. And one of the motivations for this has come out of what I personally have seen working with Richie over the last year and a half, where paying for medical costs in clinical trials has been a barrier for some folks with RMC to participate in at MD Anderson. Now, we know a real good source for travel and accommodation. There is a fantastic nonprofit out there called the Lazarex Foundation, the Lazarex Cancer Foundation, and they have raised a lot of money from the big farmers and others, and they will give grants to people who need money for travel and accommodation to attend clinical trials. This is specifically for clinical trials. They don't have any money for medical costs. We know that when you attend a clinical trial, there are procedures, there are scans, there are tests, there are all kinds of things other than the actual drug, which you're not going to pay for. And it never really gets talked about. And when you sign up for the clinical trial, a lot of times the trial coordinators don't raise it with you. If you have insurance, it may get covered, provided that you've gotten your insurance company to pre-approve the trial, which they may or may not do. If you don't have insurance, it's certainly not going to get covered. So we put together a group that included Richie and also Zero, which is a very large prostate cancer foundation, prostate cancer nonprofit, the Touch, the Black Breast Cancer Alliance, and Lazarex, and ourselves. And we are all agreed that we are going to put in some grant applications, hopefully between now and the end of the year, because there are funds available. People have been notified amongst this group that some of these big farmers have funds available for health equity projects. So it would be terrific if we can come up with the bucks. Lazarex will administer the money because they're already doing that for the travel and accommodation. We're trying to figure out how we would allocate those medical costs. One of the things we want to do, one of the things that is going to happen is that Lazarex is going to earmark some of its funds for people of color. And then we will take whatever that amount is and we'll try and get it matched. So there will already be some commitment for funding for people of color, and then we'll take it to Big Pharma and we'll try and get them to match it. We may not do it with a huge amount because this is sort of a test, and we'll be able to go back and do it again if it works. I guess we're all very, very helpful. Now, I just had a thought, and I don't, Richie is very, very busy, we know, and I'm wondering if anybody in this group who has the time might be willing to work with us in this group to ease the pressure on Richie. And if you are, let us know and we'll bind you into the group and keep you posted. And you can then coordinate with Richie. I mean, we had a meeting last week, for example, on Friday. Richie couldn't make it. We sent her the recording, but we could really use somebody because things may move pretty quickly in terms of we won't be doing the grant writing. Nobody here will be doing the grant writing. We've already got grant writing volunteers from Zero and Black Breast Cancer, and we may look at it a little bit, but it would be great if somebody would help Richie out and on this project. So just let me know or let Alexa know, And if you're interested, we'll spend more time, we'll fill you in. We have a project coordinator. That's somebody from ANCAM. One of our ANCAM guys has volunteered to be project coordinator. But it's just a great project. Nobody's ever tried this before. This is a first. So.
And I did get an opportunity to listen to the video, and it was really good information. I'm sorry, I was in Austin with KCA Friday, so I missed the meeting.
Okay.
It
No,
proves
it's
the
fine.
point, Richie, that you're very busy.
I could always
Yeah.
use help.
Yeah. So, and Richie, if you have somebody that you want to delegate to step up to, just to keep you so that you don't have to attend the meetings, by all means, just let us know, let Ben know, and we'll clue you in. But we'd love to have, I think it's going to move quickly. And the reason I think it's going to move quickly is because everybody seems to be committed, as Richie heard, that they want to do this to try and grab these funds that are around between now and the end of the year. Because the way these pharmaceuticals work is that if they don't use the funds, they just basically give them back, and then that goes into another budget. But there are some excess funds.
Well, thank you for that update, Rick. And Richie, is there anything that you need to add to that or is on your mind? Because I don't think I checked in with you. And then we'll get to Anna's comment about Lori's, because Anna's a doctor, and I'm sure Anna's got some great perspective on what Lori's doing.
No, I'm good. Rick did a great job covering that. And then Lori was talking about the registry and everything with KCA. And it's just a few more things that they're trying to do with the registry, as well as keeping everything confidential, not violating HIPAA as far as the patients are concerned. So I think they understand the importance of moving pretty quickly, but still it requires time trying to work out the logistics and everything. So they're working on it. It's important. And then we just have a lot of things going on, which is great.
I'll see you guys in probably about half an hour before you break up. I've got to run over and make sure that the MS meeting got opened and they're underway. But I'll be back. I will, just like General Patton, I will return. Goodbye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
Rick.
you, Rick.
Okay, Anna, the floor is yours. Have at it.
Sorry. I'll just give an update on my situation. So I'm still going through chemo. I have another 6 rounds left, and I had a CT scan today. This is my first surveillance CT to see if I'm without cancer. So I'm hopeful. Lori, I just wanted to sort of respond to your comments about improving some of the advocacy around RMC. One of the, I would say, pitfalls there's several pitfalls with this disease that make it hard, A, to diagnose, B, to diagnose early, C, to treat, in particular because of the patient population it affects. I am a general internist, but I have specialized interest in training and taking care of vulnerable patient populations. My residency was based out of San Francisco General for physicians who are interested in working with underserved patients. And so the large majority of my patients are mostly Spanish speaking, but generally people of color. And that's been a dedication and focus of an interest of mine throughout my training and as I've been practicing as a physician. So there's several things that, in my journey in being diagnosed with RMC, I noticed where things sort of fell into place better for me because I happen to be a physician and happen to know that I carry sickle cell trait. I happen to have had a heightened sense of concern for RMC in particular and why things happened faster for me. And perhaps I was diagnosed with RMC before I had a nephrectomy, which I think is not always the case. One particular area that I think is of interest is that when people get biopsies, so Amaka and I were talking about this, she got a biopsy before she had her kidney removed, before she got the RMC diagnosis, but her biopsy did not show RMC. And I think the same thing might have happened to somebody else that I had a conversation with as well. And part of it is because when the specimen gets run, they may not do the immunohistochemical staining that is specific for RMC, because you need to look to see if there's a gene expression that is missing, and that's diagnostic for RMC. And if that's not run, then the diagnosis is not made. We're considered renal cell carcinoma. And I'm sure Dr. Marcelo has something to add about that. But I think that among the education that needs to happen in healthcare professionals, or in particular pathologists and urologists, is that we need to increase the awareness of looking for that stain or looking for that genetic defect in any patient who is under 50, who is, in particular may carry sickle cell trait, or who is probably African American, is probably that there needs to be a heightened sense of concern for this cancer, because it does not act like other RCCs. And so I think Brian just mentioned that.
And that's really powerful, and I'm super grateful for that. As Richie and I have gone back and forth about some of the SCT education for patients, even, there's just been this question of, if you don't tell people that there's a potential for this, and it's the same thing with pathologists, if they're not looking for it, then there could be hundreds of people that are being missed. And it hadn't even occurred to me, because I'm not, that on that shorter journey, having spent the time with Kwanzaa, that people would, I was aware that people were not making the diagnosis was coming very late. It did not occur to me there could be a problem in pathology staining. So I'm really grateful for that. Thank you.
Yeah, because I think it happened to Brian too, because I think that we had that conversation as well, that he had a biopsy before, or he had a pathology evaluation before he going to MD Anderson, and that it wasn't diagnosed as RMC at that time. So all of that is to say that there's a delay in diagnosis, right? And anytime you have a delay in diagnosis, you have also the potential for this disease to spread, and that's when it's harder to treat. And so I'm happy if you would like my input as a physician, but also as a patient, to look into how we can better educate other physicians, the medical community, because I think Dr. Mercer, and I've heard him speak on this, he thinks the prevalence is much higher than what we are actually seeing. And part of that has to do with the fact that people are not being diagnosed correctly.
I'd be super grateful for that, because we really have to have effectively 2 education campaigns. And in my mind, there's content for 2 education campaigns. And this is so important, just so important. I've put my phone number here. I'll just put my phone number to everybody. Not everybody wants it, but I'll put my phone number in here, Anna. And I would be, any direction or ideas I'm super interested in.
Okay. And then I can also help Alex. I have to get off of a call before 6 o'clock, but if Rick is interested in helping me helping on that project, I can do that. Of course, I'm going through chemotherapy, and I'm raising 2 boys, so my time is taken up mostly by that. But if I can serve in any way as a patient, or in Medullary.
How I would picture that is you could be a consultant. That sounds so fancy, and it fits around a schedule. We are consulting. So I'll talk to both Richie and Rick about that, and I'm sure we can find a way. Here's Richie's thing. If you can work, she will find some place to put you for the RMC community. So as long as you just say, I'm here, we will figure it out.
Exactly.
Yeah. And like I said,
we know that you're going through a lot too, so it wouldn't mean that if for some reason you couldn't do something. I mean, we're understanding.
Yeah, no, and I think, to me, this is really going to healthcare disparities, right? We know that the folks who cannot get access to care are primarily folks who are from underserved communities. So this is like my particular interest in medicine. So if I can work on that to help patients with this very challenging disease, I'm happy to do that. And my limited capacity, but I'd like to do that.
I would appreciate the expertise and content that you bring, and you don't have to worry about being dragged into meetings that are long and boring or anything like that. And you're also welcome to say, call Dr. So-and-so over there. He'll help you. I'm more than happy to be directed in whatever direction makes the biggest difference the fastest. So you've got my phone number now, and as you know, I'm not actually that far from you. Not that you need to be infected by me for any reason in person, but and the same goes for everybody else. If you've got thoughts, thank you very much, Brian, for your messages about what your experience was like. I think we're all interested in the things that have gone wrong not happening to anyone else, if we can possibly, speed up their treatment. Yeah. So thank you very much.
And I think we have several campaigns that we're talking about, which all are great. And I've always said education is the key. Knowledge is power. So we're going to have to just break it up in segments, and let's get out there and see if we can just get the right people involved. And that's what it's going to take. And the medical professionals are really lacking when it comes to RMC.
Well, I see that Diana and Danielle have arrived. We haven't seen them in a while. I don't know, because you don't have your camera on yet. I don't know if you can hear us, but we're glad you're here. And we're glad to see you.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Daniel. How are you, Alexa, and the rest of the group? I'm sorry because I'm sorry. We are delayed. I have a confusion with the time, and Diana is sleeping tonight. Is very tired because in the office she was I don't know what's the name when somebody out of the company visit you to control all the process. Auditoría in Spanish. I don't know somebody who can translate for me.
An auditor. Yeah.
Auditor. Well, I'm sorry. I just arrived to. I did listen nothing. Hello for everybody. For everybody.
Well, there's no need to apologize. We're just glad that you're here, and I hope Diana is resting well.
Diana is okay. Diana is okay. I'm trying to connect my camera, but I think it's not possible. No, I'm not very okay. Yeah, so well. Yes, Diana is okay. Yeah, Diana is okay. Nicolas is okay. Tomorrow we go to the hospital, and we are in the end of the first of the last cycle. We rest 3 or 4 weeks from chemo, and it's the end. I don't know how are the others in the process, but we are in the end of the process of the chemo. It rests just 3 or 4. So we are happy and we are afraid too. That's the truth. But we are happy. We are with hope, and that's like I always say, hope is a very good place to be there with the hope. So well, I'm here for listening you too. So all very good night for everybody.
Thank you. Amaka, I see you unmuted. Is there something you'd like to say?
Yeah, it's come back to me now.
Okay.
Kind of piggybacking. It's Daniel, correct? Is it? You mentioned something that kind of helped to remind me of what I wanted to ask everybody in this group. So I'm I have one more session left for this first round on the 19th, so next week. And right now we're trying to develop a plan of what's next. And so my aunt, as I mentioned in the first meeting, she's kind of like my medical person that speaks a language that I cannot. And so she's been in communication with Dr. Tanier. And so I'm trying to be proactive and gathering information to take to my oncologist so that way, we can get things moving. But one of the things that he mentioned at my last meeting was a break. And so the idea of a break scares me, but I also know that the body needs a break. So my question for the group, for those who have gone through a break, like what does that mean? Is it depending on, I guess, who you are and where you are, but is it like 4 weeks and then you go back on chemo? Or I'm just trying to wrap my head around that, because in my head I'm thinking break means, oh, that's a chance for the cancer to grow and spread, and so that really makes me nervous. And Dr. Tanier mentioned that he would like to see me have, I think my aunt said 4 more sessions right after my last one. So I'm just curious on what people are thinking about or what the experience has been in terms of breaks.
Amaka, have you had your kidney taken out? Surgery on that?
That's where my fun story started. Yeah. So they took out, so the surgeon took out my kidney first before she was aware of what type of kidney cancer it was. So I've had it out since June 16th.
Okay.
And then I had my scans back in September, and there was indication that, the nodules are shrinking and some are stable, so no new growth, which is great. And so, as I mentioned, my doctor is thinking my body might need a break, or he mentioned something about maintenance. And so we want to bring in Dr. Tanier and get his thoughts before we land on anything.
Yeah, I know, like, from this experience, just having a break for like taking the kidney out for surgery. So that's been my experience. So that's why I asked that question.
Oh, I see. So you guys started with chemo and then you had the surgery, a break.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
I will make you speak on that, I think, or either Brian.
Yeah, so I had my I had my kidney taken out back in June as well, before they even knew what kind of kidney cancer was. Initially, after my nephrectomy, it came back as clear cell, and then through further testing, they found out that it was RMC.
Yeah, the surgery was at a St. Luke's hospital, and they said the St. Luke's surgeon came in immediately at our follow-up appointment. He was like, "It's clear cell, great news." And but we didn't want to have cancer treatment. We were like, we're gonna go back to MD Anderson. So when we went back, they were like, "We're gonna redo everything. We're gonna start from scratch. We know what it said before," and that's when we found out. But in that time period that Brian, similar to I don't know your situation, but in that time period between recovering from the nephrectomy, going back to MD Anderson, like in that whole time period, that's whenever Brian had spread in his lungs.
Mm-hmm.
Like in that recovery period is when he saw the spread. And just like you, when did you first set of scans was in September, right?
Yeah, after chemo, my first hit, yeah.
Yeah, so he had his first set of scans and same shrinkage and the exact same situation where they're letting us know, like, all right, it looks, Dr. Masal put it to us this way. He was like, look, everything looks great and we're seeing a lot of response. The way you cure RMC is to keep getting chemo, as much chemo as you can handle. Like for Brian, he's looking at 10 sessions. For this first go round, and then a break. And then the way the break was, so the way the break was explained to us was in that break period, that's whenever they see if anything grows or if it doesn't, and that's how they kind of see where we're at. But I mean, same question as you. How long does that break normally last? What does that look like? I mean, same boat. So just wanted to share. I say we thought, but it's definitely not we.
I understand. I totally understand. So Brian, just to repeat. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was gonna say I can share as well. I don't know your story. I haven't been on the calls, but similar. I did have my kidney taken out before they diagnosed it as RMC, and Dr. Tenier is my doctor. And a break can mean whatever. I mean, it could be a good thing. I've had a break since 2019, so that it could be, just. And I have scans every 4 months, so I go back in December for my next round of scans. So it could be a positive thing. So
Okay.
yeah, I had my kidney taken out, and then it did spread to my leg, and I had to have surgery and get a rod put in my leg. But I've come back from all of that and had chemo after the rod was put in my leg, and then like I said, I've been on a break since September 2019.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's amazing.
So there is hope. So a break is a
There
good
is
thing.
hope. Thank you for hearing, because I was like, I don't know. And kind of to what you said, Brian, I'm sorry, I don't know your wife's name. What?
Oh,
Vanessa.
Anessa?
Yeah.
Okay, Anessa, kind of to your point, they were saying that, oh, this memory loss is annoying. I forgot what I was gonna say. It'll come back.
They'll come back.
It's called chemo brain, and it is real. It is scientifically studied.
Oh my
And
God.
let me tell you, you can blame it. You can blame it as much as you want. In fact, I believe that there should be a prescription pad at the doctor's office where they go, you are now excused to use your chemo brain. I think it would be very helpful in relationships. Honey, I didn't mean to forget. It's just the chemo brain. So, if you got that excuse, use it. That is my nugget of wisdom for tonight, because it is real, it is scientific, and you can tell people, look in PubMed for chemo brain, and you're good.
Thank you for that. Thanks, Alexa.
Weren't you trying to ask about a break? I don't know where you were.
Yeah, I was talking about break, but I don't know where I was going with it anymore. So it's kind of fun. Okay, since no one's jumping in, I do have another question.
Go ahead.
The holidays are upon us, and I'm really interested to hear how you guys are, or how you guys navigate the holidays in terms of, like, do you go to family, or do you stay within your own household? Because we're having this conversation, and because my chemo is on the 19th, obviously Thanksgiving's the following week, and so I'm going back and forth with what to do. It's just my mom and I here, and my family lives in Sacramento, which is like 2 hours away. And so I'm just curious on how everyone is navigating, or how have you navigated that in the past?
I think that's a phenomenal question. I just want to say that's a phenomenal question. I can't wait to hear what everyone has to say. I'm sorry, Nissa.
No, do you say your name Amaka?
Yeah,
Amaka?
you got it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, are you getting your chemo every 3 weeks by chance?
Finally, yeah. 'Cause I was having a while, it was hitting every 4 weeks, but now we're back on track with the injection. So now it's, every 3 weeks.
You and Brian are on the same cycle.
Yeah, I have my next
Well,
session on 19th.
Well, yeah, the same day.
Yeah.
oh, are you
I
serious?
think there's 3 of us.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, triplets. That's weird.
Yeah, I think Brian, Amaka, and I are like
RMC triplets.
on the same. Yes.
What are you guys gonna do then? What is your thoughts around holiday?
We're going to Disney tomorrow. Just a little fun fact. We are going to Disney World tomorrow. We're excited. We're going from Wednesday to Sunday. I had to absolutely force him to do a disability pass because he was not having it. And I was like, it's fine. Just do it. That way you don't have to wait in line next to people. You don't need to be, like, you won't have to be near people. You can, you won't have to wait in line. And he was like, but I feel fine. We got him a scooter. He's not happy about that either.
Nope.
Not happy about it at all.
Nope.
So
that's awesome.
He's like, I don't.
You'll be thankful.
Yeah.
It sounds like the decision has been made, though.
Mm-hmm.
About the scooter. The decision has been made.
Oh, I wasn't having it. I was like, no, because here's the deal. If you don't want to use it, I'll jump on it. You can jump back on it when you want to use it. But he's like, I don't need a scooter. I'm like, you get to 7 miles in Disney.
I guess my only concern is the sun, because the sun drains me because of the chemo. Like, it's it's kind of terrible some days. So
For Thanksgiving though, I mean, we have big. I mean, Brian's Nigerian, I'm Mexican. We have a huge family. So for us, we're just keeping it pretty immediate.
yeah,
And I don't know. I think that day is what? How many days after chemo?
It's like a
almost
six.
Yeah.
Yeah, because usually it takes me about 5 days or so to get right after chemo. So hopefully by the time Thanksgiving rolls around, I'll be all right.
Okay.
Oh, and happy birthday, Nessa, by the way. Let's see your birthday. Tomorrow.
Oh, it's tomorrow. Yeah, it's tomorrow.
Whose birthday?
Whose birthday is it?
Anessa's birthday is tomorrow.
It is tomorrow.
Oh, happy birthday.
Forget about things like that.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. No, they're worth celebrating. I had my birthday yesterday.
Anna, you can tell me.
22
I'm at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy I got to see 43. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Every day.
Every day is a good thing. But to answer your question, Maka, my family is all vaccinated, and now my kids are going to be vaccinated too. So I have I have 2 older brothers, and we're going to get together with them and my parents and their kids. And so I feel okay because everybody's vaccinated. And then you and I had talked about also travel. I'm planning a trip to New York at the end of December. I'm hoping everything goes okay with my CT today, the results. I don't have results yet. But I was going to check in with my oncologist as well, to let him know that I am going to travel. I'm kind of telling him that I'm going to travel, but we'll see what he says.
Will you be
Anna, if you're
traveling
in New
on the
Jersey,
airplane?
let me know. So I can, I'm in New Jersey, right next to New York. I work in the city.
Okay, yeah. We're going to be there between New Year's and Christmas.
All right, I think I'm going to be on vacation. Oh, man.
Well, you enjoy your vacation. It's okay. We can meet up another time, but yeah, I'll let you know what my oncologist recommends. I'm hopeful that I can do it.
I just want to take a quick second. We had somebody else join us, PVT Techpour, if I'm saying your name correctly. Welcome. Is there anything on your mind tonight or what you'd like to share? And if not, that's okay too.
Yeah, I don't have anything to say right now, but if I do, I will. Yeah, thank you.
Sure, absolutely. And if you want, you can just put in the chat to let us know if you have something to say, like if you'd like some time, okay?
Sure.
Thank you so much.
I will say for Anna and Brian, my oncologist, I told Anna this, I was planning to go to Miami for a little mental break trip. And my oncologist told me that he would prefer that I travel like within 60 and 90 minutes. And I live in California, which literally gives me like 2 options. So then that shifted my plans because it kind of put like fear in me because he was afraid that if something was to happen, the time it will take me to get to the hospital. So I changed my whole plans and I went to LA instead. But hearing that you guys are traveling gives me hope that, it's okay to do so, because I was just really sad because I couldn't do what I wanted to do. But again, hearing that you're going to Florida and that you're going to New York, I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna figure out someplace I can really go that is stress-free. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, Dr. Masal's head nurse, name was Leah. We talked to her. It was kind of like we kind of asked and told, but it was kind of like sheepish, like, so we're planning to go to Disney, to Orlando. Do you think it's okay? She was like, oh, her thing was know your places to go in case something happens in Florida. But I think it really depends on your case too, because Brian hasn't had any, knock on wood, pray to God, he hasn't had any complications or anything like that from chemotherapy. But the other like advice that she gave, and I kind of, it stuck with both of us, is she was like, we don't want Brian to be a hermit. We really want him to have a full life as best as he can. And and she said she loves Disney, and so does Dr. Massal. So I think they're biased a little.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, I mean, it's good to get out every now and then because for the most part, because of COVID and chemo, I pretty much don't leave my house because I work from home, so I pretty much don't leave my house. So I see family, maybe go to the store, and that's about it.
Yeah, same. I think Target is my place. So
Yeah.
The only thing, just be careful if you guys are traveling on the airplanes because they do not practice social distancing.
Yeah.
You know, even though everybody keep their mask on, and remember you have this air that's recirculating, so just be very,
sure.
very careful.
Mask up everywhere you go. That's pretty much what I do.
Exactly, and make sure you
Go,
wash your
Danielle.
hands.
Go ahead.
I want to share with Nicholas in the last year. We traveled only 2 times to the beach. The first one, it was when before the third surgery, and it was great. This travel to the beach, it was for our family, for his sister, for our other daughter, for the fourth. And also, we traveled with the dog, and it was unbelievable. The second travel, it was 3 4 weeks ago, and and we wanted to travel by airplane, but our oncologist recommended didn't travel by airplane. I don't know if in USA or our oncologists say the same. We wanted to travel again to other coast, to other city, only 800 kilometers, 16 hour by car. The media, it was 15 kilometers. So by airplane, it was just only 1 hour. But he finished his chemo, and plaquettes, that's correct in English, plaquettes. The plaquettes, it was very low. I don't know if the oncologists in USA are like the oncologists in Colombia, so with a lot of afraid. And he say if he travel by airplane with less than 100 plaquettes, it's a risk. So it's forbidden for your son to travel by airplane. So we the election, the plan B, it was by car. Anyway, travel in this situation for us is one of the best things that we never do it. To travel and to change is wonderful. Our idea is when Nicholas finish his process, take the airplane and travel to Europe, to Spain, and see his family in the other side of the Atlantic Ocean.
That's what I was
So
going to ask, Daniel, because I know you're from Spain. And I think one time when you were here, I think you had a family member who came over to see Nicholas and your family. So I know for all of you guys, that must be really hard since you're separated by so much distance.
yeah, well, the distance it was for all. You live in USA, and in USA the
Mhm.
distance are like continents. So it's very complicated. Fortunately, we have internet, and well, I don't know for the people who are in the beginnings, but for the people who start 1 year ago, it was when the pandemic start, and it was crazy in the same city. The grandmother of Nico in the same city for 4 or 5 months. She never visited him, and it was in the same city. It was just only 40 minutes by car. So now is the moment to when we finish in November, December, and we made all the samples, is the time to take a break and too thin in other. And while here in Colombia, always is the same weather, the same temperature, the same. But if we travel to Europe in this moment, it's winter. Nicholas don't remember the snow, so could be interesting to go to the mountain and see a snow, because in Colombia it's not easy to touch the snow. So that's the idea. The only thing I want to uh, share my emotion, share. Be careful when you travel by airplane. Okay, that's only because our oncologist here said, be careful with the plaquettes. Uh, thank you.
For
Well,
us,
I don't know if anybody remembers. We have talked about, and Chris, I will get back to you. I'm sorry. We have talked about, since Dr. Masol is from Greece, and then we have Nina and her family. We have talked about someday, like getting a yacht and just cruise in the Mediterranean, all of us. Maybe in the conversation with Lazarex and stuff, we can throw that in there, funding for a yacht vacation for the RMC community. We'll keep trying, but I could see us all going out there and traveling and having a great time. And we will invite Dr. Masal, so you can see his family, and so we will have an RMC doctor with us, so we don't have to worry about anything. But thank you for allowing me to just go in a little ideal world for a second. Okay, Carissa, I'm sorry.
Mine was kind of related a little bit with that. This was pre-COVID, but we like during Carlos's treatment, we actually did go on a cruise. So I'm just getting like hoping that was during like one of his treatments. So we asked Dr. Masal if that was okay, and he like encouraged.
They sneaked off.
Well, where did you go?
I think Bahamas. I don't remember. Bahamas. Was there any other place? I think it was just the Bahamas. Yeah.
So everyone sort of had a diversified in their journeys of travel. Some of y'all are going to Disney, which I'm a little jealous about, but that sounds so much fun. And I think both of you have earned it with everything. Some of y'all will be going to Bahamas, and some have to just go to LA. But I think what I hear in all of this is you're all figuring out a way to make it work with the limitations of what each of your situations are, and you're talking to your medical team. And what Daniel said was correct. With platelets and stuff, with chemotherapy, sometimes that makes the decision for you, no matter how much that sucks and you feel completely out of control. I love what Amaka did, and like, well, I can't go to Miami, but I'm going to go to Los Angeles, and I'm going to figure out something that'll work for me and my situation right now. So I love everything that I'm hearing. I think that that's phenomenal.
And I can remember even back in 2012, I believe, or 2011, Chris did get permission too. They put his chemotherapy on hold, and we were able to go to Albuquerque. He was doing pretty good, but he did get a little nauseated and stayed in bed like 2 or 3 days. But he traveled okay without any problem. And of course, we didn't have COVID either. But you can do it, and the best thing to do is just do what your body make you feel like doing, or let you feel like doing. So just try to enjoy life and
Did he
be careful.
fly, or did you guys drive?
We flew.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
we flew.
in the book, Richie, that was like one of the things that stood out to me the most when you write in there, to enjoy the moments where you feel good and to like really to get a lot out of those moments. And like that's how we feel here. I mean, Brian is over here arguing with me about scooters, and it's like I want to make sure he has some normalcy. That's the big thing. And so you know,
And allow him to walk as long as he want to or feel up to it, and then you'll have the scooter available, and maybe you'll share it with him. You know.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
But
told her.
what did
I
you
told
say,
her
Brian?
no, so I'll ride the scooter, but you know, and I'll do some walking too. But as soon as I need that scooter, she's got to come off of it. So
That's right.
There's a term for this. It's called energy conservation, meaning you do what you can, but if you get too tired, you can use assistive devices. So, I mean, it's already been planned out, Brian.
yeah, I'm stubborn. I'm just used to not like needing that kind of assistance, but
Right.
under the circumstances, you know. Yep.
Just enjoy yourself. Have fun.
Yeah. And take lots of pictures.
Sure.
Who are you going to meet anybody? Are you planning on meeting any characters? Like, I gotta meet so and so.
I don't know about that. It's just more or less the experiences, and to me, Brian's like a huge Star Wars fan and Marvel fan and what have you, and they opened up Star Wars World at Hollywood Studios, so I know that's a big thing. And we're going with 4 people. They're really close friends of ours, all fully vaccinated. We're staying in an Airbnb to kind of isolate a little bit even more. So that'll be helpful. So I mean, taking a lot of precautions. Hopefully everything will be okay.
You got to take pictures for Dr. Masao too, because he's a big Star Wars fan and Marvel fan.
I wore a Star Wars shirt to one of our last appointment, and he's like giving us all this information. He's like, so let's pray that biopsy comes back good. And then he goes, by the way, love your shirt, and just walk out of the room. And I thought that was really funny.
I see we have Stephanie joined us, Alexa.
You have Stephanie. I can see that the audio is having some issues, not connected to audio, but we're glad you're here. And if you can use the chat function, oh, there, I think you got audio to connect. Can you unmute yourself and say something? If not, that's okay too. We just want to check in and say hi. Okay. Well, if you want to say something, just feel free to unmute yourself or write something in the chat, but we're glad that you're here. Andre, very quiet as usual. How is the ride and how close are you from home? Can you give us an update, an on-the-ground report?
I'm about 20 minutes away, so almost home. So I can get some rest. But yeah, everything's going good on my end. Man, it's so good to hear from everybody, and glad everybody seems to be doing pretty well. And just stay strong, and keep your faith, and just know that everything's gonna work out for the good or whatever. So it was definitely good to hear from everybody tonight.
So, Andre, let me ask you something just real quick. Have you ever considered having an inspirational TikTok channel? Because I think you'd probably have a very good market with some of your trademark sayings of positivity and hope. And if you haven't thought about that, maybe you should.
I'm not on TikTok, but maybe I can give it a shot.
Okay, I'm just saying you've made it this far. Why
not? My niece little TikTok, so she might can show me a couple pointers or whatever. And
okay. Well, look, you already have a built-in consult team.
Right. And Richie,
we are losing Andre. I don't know what he was trying to say, Richie.
My last day in the middle.
We're not able to really hear you.
y'all hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
I said, Richie, I said, on November 29th is my last day in the military. So after that date, be free to help out wherever I can, whatever you need to help.
Woo, thank you. I can use you. I'm trying to get
I
my
was going to
baby
be so
girl
disappointed
visiting.
if we couldn't find out what Andre was saying, and this was going to be a soap opera cliffhanger that you'll just have to wait until next support group meeting. And I couldn't live like that today.
Oh, did you not understand what he said?
No, I did. I'm saying the first time, I'm glad
Oh,
that we were able to hear it, because I did not want a cliffhanger.
Alexa, could I ask PT, do you have RMC, or do you know someone with RMC?
It looks like
Um,
their audio's not fully connected. Yeah, they're not connected to audio. You might not be able to respond.
Okay.
no, he's Richie, he's my support.
Oh, wonderful. It's about time you told us something. We sitting up here trying to figure out, okay, so who's PT? All right, I got you, Clarissa.
All right. Well, the support people need support. So
Exactly.
shout out to him. We're so glad you're here. And if we had just known, so I apologize, but technically there is a connection to RMC there. So I'm thrilled you're here. But I wanted to also state that Amaka has a beautiful smile and laugh. It makes me happy. So maybe Amaka needs to get in the TikTok game too. I don't know. I being in the RMC community, I'm just like, there's a lot of talent. There's a
I
lot
don't
of
know about
talent.
TikTok.
A lot
Instagram,
of
maybe. TikTok, I don't know.
You could
a lot-
do Instagram. You could be
I
on the
will give you
gram.
your password. You could keep Instagram up to
Sure didn't
date.
mean to do that, but you guys are good. You guys are really good. But I also, Richie, I will email you, but I definitely want to be more involved in, any way that I am able. So
Wonderful. I'm ready to give social media to whomever wanted. I'm just ready. So they can keep it going.
I got some nieces and nephews that can take that on. So one last thing, I don't know how long these support meetings go, but I just started working on Monday, and I was exhausted after one meeting, but I just love to hear people's experiences on different things that comes with this exclusive club that we're all part of. How has it been for folks who are working? Like, how do you manage that? Right now, I'm not full time purposely. I told them I can only do 30 just so I don't, lose my insurance. But I'm just curious on how everyone is able to hold the stresses of work in the midst of everything else that we are all facing.
Yeah, I know with Carlos, he was the teacher. So that, in itself was a lot. I know like his principal was very supportive there. So like when he needed to take off days, he took off the days. Like usually, well, obviously treatment, usually the day after like chemo, and then like other days there. I think it's just trying to find your balance, and sometimes sometimes that changed. Sometimes he was out of work. Sometimes he was he was working. So I guess just like trying to find your balance and trying to see what works for you. Because I think like too that was part of like it was good for him to go to work and have that like kind of normalcy, but like when it was too much, it was too much. Like it was too much. No, I think like too what helped too. He was like at first like his first year he was a like he did a science teacher, so he had to do the plans and do a lot of grading, and then like after that he was more special ed, so it was kind of more like he didn't have to do as much as like the admin work, and that's what he enjoyed. Like that portion. So I think that was challenging, but that was something like just like changing that up helped him.
You know what, Carissa? I remember when Carlos was still working, he would talk to our support group about the kids, and they would ask questions and things, and he came up with all these such good and creative answers to these difficult questions about his diagnosis and stuff. And he seemed to get a lot out of just being with the kids still, when he could still do it.
Yeah. I think, like just doing the things he could like do. And I know like too, he was like he went to judo for a little bit, starting going that, and just being around around that helped. So like kind of monitoring that and like kind of assessing himself, like what he could, what he couldn't do. But yeah, I think that gave him energy, and he just loved being with the kids. And yeah, you're right. Like he used to say, "Oh, I'm having a red day or a yellow or a green day," like one of his examples. I'm like, just saying, like if somebody asked him how he's doing, that's how he would say it.
Anybody else have any thoughts on Amaka's question?
Okay.
I worked while I was getting my chemo treatment. I worked from home. I would usually get it on a Wednesday and then work from home Thursday, Friday, and recover over the weekend. And I can say that going to work helped me a lot because it kept that sense of normalcy. My coworkers in my office was very supportive, so I didn't have a lot of stress in that direction. But it helped me keep a routine and stay normal and not think about it. Just worry about work and deal with the chemo when it came. So that's how I dealt with it.
Same with me. I work remote as well, and like Corinne was saying, like part of what I guess keeps me sane is having something else to focus on other than chemo and having RMC and things of that sort. My coworkers and my manager are very supportive. Like they let me know anytime you need to take off to go to doctor's appointments or chemo, it's fine, and just focus on getting better. That's what they really care about. So I was fortunate in that way.
Well, Nico doesn't work. He go to the school, and for example, it was yesterday or who came to the school, and you feel when he returned back, is absolutely tired, but he's happy when he's playing with the PlayStation and speaking with the other friends. But they can pass 1 week, 2 weeks, and he doesn't go to the school. But when he go, is wonderful for him too. It's like Karen say, is you take your normal day, and that's great. It's like holidays or travel. No, it's the same. It's not to be afraid that what happened. The first time our oncologists say no, Nico to the school is impossible. The pandemic, no, the plaquettes, no. If he play and they basketball or football or something like that, somebody could be very dangerous. But at the end, you must to make day by day your life, and that's what each one are trying to do. And children, the school, well, not every children loves the school, but to be with the friends, all people love to be with the friends.
And play PlayStation.
And it does make a difference too, being able to get out of the house and meet with your friends. When you feel good, do what you need to do.
Yeah.
Keep you from getting all depressed. You don't need that. You have enough
And
to worry about.
also, Richie, I loved it whenever we talked about one support group. You're talking about if you can eat it. Like you talked about Chris, if he wanted a milkshake, I'm gonna get him a milkshake. And so we just had that conversation. So I love Richie. You liberate so many people in the RMC community by saying things like that. Like if you can eat it. If you can do that activity, go do it. If you want to be with your friends, go be with your friends.
Exactly. And when you tire out, rest. It's
Yeah.
okay.
And I appreciate you guys reminding that, because you get lost, or I'll speak for myself, I get lost in this fear bubble where you don't want to do A, B, and C. And at the same time, it's like I'm blessed to still be here. So why not do A, B, and C? As long as it's safe, of course. But it's nice to kind of hear it out loud outside of my own head. Yes, like get that milkshake. For me, it's like I have an obsession with burgers. I haven't had one yet, but when that day comes, I'm gonna enjoy it. So like just that constant reminder of small things like that is helpful.
It does make a difference. And if it's something you have a special taste for, if you can't get it, get someone else to get it for you.
Get that burger. Get that burger.
We'll send you a burger.
But it has to be
We've
a
done
good
it
burger. It just
before.
can't be any burger. It has to be like worth that bite. You know what I'm saying? So we can talk about it, Richie. We can talk about it.
As long as it's not in and out.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now we do Whataburger down here.
Do you have any
Well,
questions?
we've done the burger stuff before, and we can make it happen again. Just for the record, we can make it happen again.
Everything is possible if you believe.
Yes, and with DoorDash.
That's right.
DoorDash, yes.
That was my first experience with DoorDash. I made it work.
And yeah, it's prayer. Mm-hmm. My mom wanted to add there's also power in prayer.
Amen.
That's part of Andre's going to be his new TikTok thing. Andre would say the exact same thing and would go into detail about it, as he has so eloquently done many of the support groups here that he has led. And Rick, he could do with Jerry's podcast. We had one of our advisory board members do a podcast and sort of talked about that. I will put the link in the chat, but Amaka, you and your mom might want to listen to that. It was really great.
A podcast. A podcast.
Oh, I did. Now.
No, not now. They're gonna send the link. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're not gonna hold you guys all hostage and make you listen to a podcast right now. So guys, we're coming kind of towards the end of our time together tonight, and I just want to check in and make sure, is there anything that came up in our conversations that made you go, oh, well, I need to ask this question, or I wanted to ask that, I just didn't remember? I just want to kind of check in really quick.
I will say I'm very pleased, and I will say that I'm very pleased that TechPoor made it over here. So I'm glad you found the right meeting, sir. No, you could have stayed in the multiple sclerosis meeting too, but I think that's not where you wanted to be.
He wanted to be where Carissa is.
That's right. That's right. Look at her smiling there. Look at her. Look at her.
I
Oh,
believe she's
she's
blushing.
blushing. Oh, we love it.
Oh, you're blushing.
We love it. Miss C, we love it. We're very happy for you. You know that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Alexa just put the Jerry's walking in the wilderness link in the chat window, and it's definitely very much worth listening to. He's quite amazing. My thoughts are with him today because he's in Chicago trying to get into a clinical trial that we desperately hope he will get into. So we're thinking about Jerry today, but he's
Yeah,
done plenty. He's done plenty of wilderness walking.
he has, and his story is just unbelievable.
Mm. Mm. Oh, and I see Stephanie's with you. She was in the wrong room too. So I'm glad you're in the right room now, Stephanie. I'm glad you
Everybody's
find.
in the wrong room tonight.
Yeah, I'm glad you found your peeps. So.
Oh, Rick, you didn't know, but I heard that you were going to pay for all of us to take a trip.
Oh, really? Where are we going?
We're
On a yacht.
going on a yacht. We're renting a yacht. Dr. Masel's coming, and it said maybe we could run it through like Lazarex or something, but it's for mental health and healing and restoration, an RMC Mediterranean yacht trip. So.
Well, let me just say on that score that Miss Alexa is quite an expert grant writer. And her very first grant was she got awarded today officially. So I think we owe her a round of applause for writing a grant that got funded.
Thank you.
Secondly, it's a grant that some of you on this call might want to participate in, and Alexa will tell you about it momentarily. And thirdly, maybe Alexa can write a grant to get an RMC yacht in the Mediterranean. What do you think, Miss A?
You know what? I just got to figure out where to apply for that, and I would do it.
Okay.
I think we all deserve a Mediterranean yacht trip.
Okay. Now tell them what great work you did.
Sure. So we have done a couple of art classes here at ANCAN. We have an artist, her name is Hannah Garrison. She actually herself has MS. So we have made art be adaptable. If you are in the bed, we'll figure out how to do it. If you are in a wheelchair, you have any motor issues or anything like that, we will figure out how to do art together. And so I wrote a grant for us to be able to actually buy adaptive art supplies and send them free of cost, because at ANCAN, we want there to be no barriers or anything to people getting the support that they need. So we wanted an art class that people didn't have to worry about cost, supplies, or transportation or anything like that. So it's going to open up, registration is going to open up really soon, and you guys will be one of the first to know if you're on our mailing list. So
That is wonderful. Congratulations.
thank you. So Richie, oh, I'm sorry, right?
I was just going to say that they've run this class twice before. The first time was just for MS people, and then the second time it was open to other people too. And it was very, very successful. People loved the class. So maybe some of you guys will join. And actually, you can see, right? Put in the link Alexa, you got to put in the link for your art gallery.
Yes, we have the Can Art Gallery of actual pieces that our community has done. And if you have something you want to add, let me know. We'll put it up there too. Richie,
There you
I know
go.
we're kind of at the end of our time together, so I kind of wanted you to close out, and if there's any announcements or anything that needs to be covered. Our next meeting, by the way, everyone, will be December 14th, same time, same place. So close us out, Ms. Richie.
All right. I want to first of all thank each one of you for attending tonight. It's been great. It seems like we have more energy in the room this month, and I'm happy for that. Just to let you know, Milton sends his love. Of course, he and Jelana still, trying to put things into perspective. And I want to let you guys know once again, save the date for March the 26th for our Keeping It Renal 9th Annual Run Walk. That is our major fundraiser. We will also do a in-person walk next year as well as the virtual. So come up with some creative ideas. I am open. Things that we can do to make it fun, or anybody like Andre that want to make an amaka, do some little short videos to help promote the walk. I would love it. But and then think about what we're going to do next month. Next month is Christmas month, December. What do we want to do to make it fun? All right. And I am here. If anyone need to talk, I am here for you. And I appreciate each and every one of you. And God bless you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Good night. Good
Good
night.
night.